This is a screencast to demonstrate how to use Google Maps and how to create your own Google Maps showing information that you have learned or to show places that you have learned about in whatever subject you're teaching. For my project, students used the three regions of North Carolina and they found different destinations in each region and then made a Google map to present their trip across the regions of North Carolina. The first step in creating your own Google Map is to make sure that you are signed in. In my classroom, we have a Gmail account that is just for our fourth grade classroom. So all the students signed in using wilfonkstigers@gmail.com. So once you've signed in, this will save their maps and let them come back, start, and then come back to them and finish them whenever. If I click up here in this box, I can go down to My Maps. And then you will see down here, these are the ones that are actually from the project, which I can show you at the end what a finished product looks like. But you will want to click this Create button. Once you've created the Create button, I always tell my students to name their map or else they're going to have to click on all the untitled maps until they find theirs. So for this one, we're just going to name it as and you can add a description as well. To start adding places to your map, you need to have locations. Now, for my students, they had spots in the different regions of North Carolina that they had done prior research to. For this one, to just show you how to do it, I'm just going to search different places. So, Vail, North Carolina. Once I've typed that in my search box up here, this green marker comes down. If I click it, I can add it to my map. So now over here it is actually added to this layer. The layers you can add, you can rename. So this one I could put, it's in the Piedmont region. So I can write Piedmont region and then save it. And then if I wanted to make another layer, I just hit add layer, and maybe this layer I want it to only be coastal region places. So I could put Wilmington, North Carolina. There's my green marker. I add it to my map and now it's down here under coastal. Going back to these, when you click the marker, there's a spot, this little pencil down here. So the students, I had them to present their information. They had to make a Google map that showed all their destinations in each of the region. Well, they also had to edit it and edit the description. So here they wrote different things that they learned about that spot that they wanted to visit. So some of them talking about Mount Mitchell, how it's the highest mountain or tallest mountain. Raleigh, North Carolina, it's the capital. It was named after Sir Walter Raleigh. So this is where they would demonstrate what they learned about the specific places in each region. So here I can just put home of the University of Carolina at Wilmington. And then this would be my description. And I hit save. You can add photos as well. So if students have researched pictures, they can also add those in at this point. Image URL, the video search, YouTube. So a lot of the features of this are very similar to those of Google Docs, the Google Drive. If your students have been using Google Drive, this is very easy to learn from. And then we will add one more place, Raleigh, North Carolina. Once again, my green marker comes, I click it, add it to the map. And that's in the coastal region, so I guess I should move that up here into the Piedmont region. Now, after I've done those things, if I zoom out, I can see my markers. Now, my students in my class, they had to have 3 places in each region. So it was a total of 9 destinations. So then the students on a paper copy of a map of North Carolina had to figure out the best route. So, we weren't going from Hickory to Wilmington back to Raleigh. We were trying to find the most efficient way to travel across North Carolina. So once they had that drawn out on their map, they needed to come into Google Maps and then add that driving route. So when you click add that driving route, you will start another layer, and it is your driving layer. So if I wanted to go from Hickory to Raleigh, I would go ahead and click that. Now that is my A to B. Then I would click add destination, and that's when I would come down to Wilmington. I would keep doing this until I had went to all of my destinations. Once you have added your driving directions, your driving group, you can click on these three little dots right here, and you can actually go in and see your step-by-step directions. So this will give the information of how many miles you've driven, how many hours and minutes it would take. It gives you the directions through that, the major highways that you would use. So this is when you can go into have your students go into more detail about their trips and maybe talk about different highways that they would travel, or how many gallons of gas they would need to travel that distance, or how many days it would take them to travel that distance. Once you have done this, you can share your Google map. So the students in our classroom, they shared this with me, but and then they could present it this way. And once again, once I come over here and click this, well, here, we'll do this one. Here's my description. So as they're presenting, instead of having a PowerPoint, it's just a different form of presentation for the students. They can come and they still have their information for everybody else to see, as long as their route and a visual of North Carolina. If you come down to base map, you can change the color of your map. So if you want to see different things, different parts of your map, you can change that. So the students had a lot of fun making it their own so that everybody's looked a little bit differently. If I go back up here to, let's see, to exit out of this map, and it's just like Google Drive, it saves everything as you're doing it. You can see all of your maps. And this is how I would get back into my map. So if I click that and hit select, here is the map that I was just working on. So my work is not lost. Here are some students and the work that they have done so far. Okay, so here's their map. They have their 9 destinations. And then when you click on them, here is their description that comes through with their description, Mount Mitchell. So this is how they will be presenting to the class instead of using a Google Slides or a Prezi or something like that. This is just another use of technology in order to present information in an interesting way. And one thing to remember is that you can add pictures to these. The students just had not gotten to that point when I'm showing you this screencast. So I hope that you can think of ways to use Google Maps in your classroom. And also, the students love the Earth view. So I usually give them a chance to go into the Earth view, take their little person and walk around with it. A lot of times they just need that time to play with it, to get it out of their system, and then they're ready to go after that. So I hope you enjoy and find this useful.